Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online. I couldn't make it. You might know me online as Rickson, and I'm joined, as always, by friend and co-host
Rowan. You might know me as Mocha. That was impressive. You made it a whole 4 words there this time.
Oh man, no, it was I don't know, saliva or my own spit trying to kill me.
Drinking problem.
Yeah. I can't drink. I think we both just came out from dinner to record this real quick. So
yeah, I don't know about you. I'm still pretty tired after that weekend.
Honestly, well, you were there a little longer than I was. So we both just went to Toronto. And you got back
yesterday afternoon. Yeah.
So we're recording this Tuesday, as we normally do-ish, kind of. I got back. Actually, I have the most harrowing journey of coming back, which I don't know if you got by context clues of my messages in Discord to our group.
No.
Okay. So, because I had a concert to go to with my wife, she got it for me for my birthday. It was the Avatar: The Last Airbender in concert. It was really good. It was Sunday night, so I wanted to make sure I got home early. And in booking my flight back, I had 2 options to look at. I had either noon, leaving at noon and arriving at 3 o'clock back home, or leaving at 7, flight at 7 a.m. and arriving at 10 at home.
Now, for the viewers at home, I want you to take a second, pause the podcast, and consider how early one needs to wake up to make it to a 7 a.m. international flight.
Yes. All right, continuing on. So, of course, me being me, I said, I'll make sure I'm there early. I want to get the 7 o'clock in the morning flight. I'm not making day 2. There's no chance. So let me just go ahead and do this. Therefore, I guarantee that I'm home in plenty of time. Now, yeah, you have to get to the airport pretty early, boarding at 6:20 or so. So, you got to get to the gate by 6. Therefore, we got to get into security well before that. So
Also you do immigration on
5:15.
You do immigration on that side, by the way, not when you get off.
Which I didn't know, but I have global entry, so I didn't care either way.
Okay.
That was very fast. That was the fastest part of this whole trip. So anyway, spoilers. This might be the title of the podcast, but Rowan made day 2 in Toronto, so we couldn't stay up ungodly late like we might normally do if none of us made day 2.
But you couldn't anyway.
I couldn't anyway. But to be fair, I was the last one to go to sleep that night.
Oh no, I did hear about this. You ended up camping out at the train station, didn't you?
No, not the train station. So my grand master plan ended up being, let me take the train from Union Station, which was right by the convention center, which was right by our Airbnb, to the airport, which is a 25-30 minute train ride with the stops, whatever. I'll just get there at 5 to the train. Plenty of time. Or not, sorry, maybe I guess 4:30. Plenty of time, right? So leave the Airbnb at 4, get to the thing at 4:30, get to the airport there at 5. Plenty of time to get. Okay, perfect. And then Mike made the point of the train doesn't run it closes at some point. And I'm like, oh no, wait, when does it close? So we researched it real quick and it seems to be closed from 2 to 6. And I was like, okay, well that means I can't go then. So everyone went to bed at midnight 30. I'm just going to casually go at then. I'll go and make the last train by 2 and get to the airport. And I'll just sleep there. No big deal. I walked to Union Station in the 20-degree Fahrenheit cold weather that it is. Walk to Union Station, get there. I arrive at 1:15. And then the signs that say, the last train has departed, don't buy tickets. And I was like, oh, it was 1, not 2. Oh, this was to save on a $40 Uber. So anyway, I spent the $40 Uber from Union Station to the airport. And then I still ended up getting to the airport super early. Slept in the airport for an hour. Then they opened up security and everything. Went through security very fast. Not very fast. I'd undo switch and everything on the backpack and everything yada yada. Because I'm used to pre-check on this side, which we don't have in Canada. So anyway, I undo that. Go through security. It wasn't like 20 minutes. Not too bad, really, because I was like, the first one there. Get past security, have an omelet at 4:30 in the morning at some some airport restaurant, and then go to my gate and sleep for like an hour again. So I get like maybe 2.5 hours of sleep at the airport. Get on the plane, sleep on the plane, get off the plane, drive home. From about 1 a.m. to 1 p.m., I was traveling to get home. So that's my fun story.
You could have just left at noon.
I should have just
hung out. Could have gotten breakfast. I don't know, man.
Even so, I would have like gotten up at like 7 and still left early. Like, I would have probably still been pretty like non-existent for plans for that day with the group, but I could have slept in a bed and not have all that extra whatever. I got home, took more nap because I'm like, my sleep schedule is all borked up, and then I went to a concert, which is great, by the way. If you love Avatar: The Last Airbender and you have the chance to go see that concert, you should do it. Anyway, that was like the most exciting thing leaving.
That was a saga. All right.
Yeah. Although I do think our Brian's was worse. So
Brian just left very uneventfully. I didn't hear a thing.
Oh, yeah, he might have just been Snapchatting me and Becca then.
Okay. we had 6 people in this Airbnb, and it turns out Toronto real estate's very expensive. So yeah, 6 people smashed into a 1-bedroom apartment. It was just 2 doubles in the 1 bedroom and then another double in the kitchen. Like, ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, I bet you that apartment cost like millions of dollars. So it was neat.
It was in like the center of downtown, which was cool and convenient, right by the convention center. We walked there. It was like a 3-minute walk to get from the Airbnb to the convention center. And then honestly, it was a longer walk from the entrance to the convention center to where we played Pokemon than it was from the entrance of our Airbnb building to the entrance of the convention center, which is convenient because it was, again, super freaking cold.
Despite all that, that was probably my favorite regional experience, I think, so far. I don't know, like very, very well, maybe. We've had some wilder ones where I didn't do as well. It was like the best balance of getting to hang out with friends and actually getting to perform at the game. Like, obviously did a little better in Orlando, but it was just the 3 of us pretty much, right? And
yeah, for the most part. But no, I think it
was 4. I mean, 4 total, yeah. But yeah.
It was lots of fun, though.
Yeah, I had a great time. Toronto's a fantastic city. It's just too cold in December. Pokemon needs to stop cheaping out and book venues when they might be a tiny bit more expensive, but also hospitable to human life.
I don't know. You say that, but we still got, every night, we got ice cream on our way back to the Airbnb.
We walked for miles the one day. We walked literally miles to get Japanese barbecue, hit a barcade, and then come back and eat ice cream in the 20-degree weather. It was pretty great.
Which, to put that in perspective as well, it was about a mile, maybe like 1.2 miles, whatever, to get to the JBBQ place. We spent an hour and 10 minutes at the JBBQ place. We're like, yeah, great. Food, we love it. Okay, cool. Then we walked
probably another half mile to the barcade.
15 minutes
to
the barcade. Spent 24 minutes in the barcade. And then went across the street to a Gibbonbach, I can't say that word right. Gibbonbop place, which is just Korean sushi, which Mike wanted. And then we got that. And then we walked back to the hotel, the Airbnb, which was like a 30-minute walk or so, but that mile and a half or so to the ice cream place that was next to the Airbnb, and then back into the Airbnb.
Like time's running out kind of thing to the camera. On Twitter, he just said, like, what was it? I can't actually say what it said on Twitter without Harrison having to bleep it out. But it's
which thing? I'm trying to find it.
Sure, you can click his name on Victory Road. I'm pretty sure it's all an act, and so I mean, regardless of what you think about it, I will say having a heel in any kind of event usually makes things more fun to watch. People get more, like, I personally like the boring, like, BGC standard of everyone just being really nice to each other and trying to help each other improve and everything. But you can't deny that people lean forward and tune in when there's a guy being the villain.
yeah, any sort of friction like that is in good faith, right? You have to have like good faith friction to make it really good, like really engaging. Again, like you said, the heal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people in this community that have just friction, and we need not say more.
It really, like, maybe he's being genuine about this, but it really just struck me as like this dude's trying to put on a show.
Yeah.
I found it funny, honestly. But yeah, Chuppa clinched that out. It was probably for the best to have that storyline, but congrats to everybody in there. There was also just some pretty cool team building all around. Marcus Dion, after coming top 4 at Sacramento Regional with the same exact team as the winner, Carson Confer, who they built together. They had to play each other in the semis. Came with a really cool adaptation to that. Like their hyper offense team was probably one of the most prepped for teams in the tournament, and so Marcus, being as smart as he is, like doesn't bring exactly the same thing. Like it still brings 3 of the same pieces, but like changes it up, makes a sand version of the team, brings this supportive Volcarona set that did so well. Like Tailwind Volk is something that people like don't even think about, and it did so well for them there. Like I don't know. There's too much team building stuff to gush over, and it almost makes, like, I was complaining about Reg H last week or 2 weeks ago whenever we did a podcast, and like those complaints still stand. But I am a little sad now because we're not going to really get to see the results of all this creative team building.
So what's interesting too, right? And one of the things that we've really thought going into this tournament after the last month or so of watching Reg H is we really started to see Reg H truly centralize across like a couple of teams and a couple of archetypes in building. I'm looking at this top 16, and there's no 2 teams are the same.
That
might not be true.
Justin Tang and Shiliang Tang both brought the same team because they built together.
Sure.
They're both they're just also really good players. So that's not really meta centralization so much as like literal building partners.
Yeah, but correct. I think that's a good point, a good distinction, what's the word I'm looking
Distinction?
for? Distinction, my goodness.
You got like most of the way there.
I did. Brain said no. A good distinction to make is like building partners is one thing, but like having different people come with the same meta centralizing teams is different. But yeah, no, there's a lot of things here that this is what we would have seen 3 months ago in Reg H, like close to the beginning, where everyone's doing some cool things. People really kind of just brought out all the stops for this tournament.
Yeah, it's impressive because a lot of the times you'll say, okay, it's the last tournament of the format. Right. I'm not going to go crazy. Solid. I'm not going to go crazy building. I'm just going to choose something I know will win. And no, people really built for it. They wanted to, and I think it's just because this format is fun to build for all the, like, the flaw I see in it is that a lot of the best tools that you cannot ignore, like Scale Shot, like Dire Claw, are inherently RNG heavy. But if you look at the like the top 8, or top 4, there's only 1 Dragonite, and it does not have Scale Shot. There are 2 Sneaslers, to be fair. There are actually quite a few Sneaslers. Sneasler was there the whole way.
Goldango too. Shocking.
We cannot discount Sneasler. Goldie's pretty healthy though. Honestly, like Goldie's powerful. It's busted, but like it does what it says on the tin, right? Like
he is just as good as Gold, right?
We are going back to the land of Urshifu. I've played my first few ladder games on Reg G since coming back, and it is about what I remember. So
sure. I'm curious, right, going into Reg G after this, so in a couple weeks, like you said, I wonder how many different things we're going to see from Reg G, right? Like we're going to see a lot of similar things from the get-go.
But Worlds will be the starting point for sure, but we'll see.
Good point. De La Vie. Anything else? I mean, I feel like we could almost keep talking about this, but
no, pretty much that. Like I had a great team building for this one too. I mean, all that being said, the team I found originally to play with was mostly the same as what I ended up running, but we moved around in so many circles. I tried like 3 to 4 different sets for almost every mon or here, and ended up just bringing what I originally found with 1 Terra type changed. But yeah, in the end, Dragonite, Ursaluna, Goldango was like ended up being like the core that I just really like this format. So
yeah, if you want to go find, viewers, listeners, if you want to go find a really cool team that came out of this tournament with some success, go to the Victory Road page for Toronto and go to number 56. Right?
Yeah.
You'll find someone with a familiar name.
Yeah. All to be said, we should talk some Pokemon.
Yeah, it was fun.
This was fun for us, but it probably sounds pretty boring to everybody else.
I don't know. I think people might enjoy some wild adventures. I think a well said story.
So wild.
Oh, yeah. Toronto Regional happened this past weekend, the 14th and 15th of December. There were 735 Masters players. 2 of them were us, and 1 of them was Wolf.
Yes, and Wolf definitely beat the tar out of both of us. This was really like the final Regulation H tournament, probably ever. Honestly, I don't think there's any more events. Period in the format, so it's over now. The only ways to play Reg H are in locals for the next 2-ish weeks, less than that. No, pretty much exactly, because I think it goes about 5 days into January. So if you enjoy this format, which despite some of its flaws, I did enjoy it. So the lower power, it's only gonna be around for 2 more weeks. So definitely go to your locals, support your local game shops, play it. It is a lot of fun. It's just moves miss sometimes. But
moves miss sometimes. Oof.
Yeah, that said, the winner of this tournament didn't depend on missing moves almost at all. No, entirely at all. Draco Meter was the missingest move on the winning team. Wolfglick, spoiler, winning with Perish Rain, which is so cool to see. Kingdra Politoed being the winning Rain team.
Man, that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Like seeing Kingdra and Politoed work together on a team and be so successful, because they're my favorite. They might actually be my favorite Rain duo, period. Just like by design and everything. But they don't do well in VGC. Like Kingdra is notoriously underpowered because of its stats distribution. Politoed is fine. Pelipper has been a more useful Rain setter for the past like 2 years, or whatever. So like Politoed is it has some niche things, but for the most part, people are running Pelipper because it's a little more offensive. And then next to Archaludon, which is the newest Rain sweeper for this generation, this just makes me happy. The sad part is the other part of the team, which is Perish Trap.
Well, that is specifically how those two work, right? And God, Wolf is just so good at Perish. Like it's the kind of thing where you need to be planning your moves out literally multiple moves ahead, like 2, 3, sometimes 4 turns ahead, and he does it. Obviously, there are guaranteed win cons where you are like, even though you are behind in mon count, or not necessarily mon count, but you're behind in HP, behind in damage output, all that. Like you can put yourself into a position where you click Perish Song and you double protect, swap 1, get another mon in, double protect again, and you win, or single protect or whatever, and you win. And he recognizes those win cons, multiple moves out, and plans for them. And you can put yourself in a position where you think, oh, I'm killing his mons, I'm winning. That's what happened to me in game 2. I genuinely thought I was going to take game 2, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I guess not. I guess it's just not happening this time.
Yeah. So what was fun is round 1. I think you were talking to some of the Georgia crew, and I walk up to just find you, and then they're like, oh, Harrison, you're sitting next to Wolf. Scout what he's doing. Like, if you see a Politoed, let us know. And I was like, all right, I can do that. So I sent adjacent to Wolf, spoke to him a little bit, which was cool. And then I just like looked over at his opponent and saw a Politoed Terastallize, and I was like, okay, he's got a Politoed, so he's playing this Perish Trap team. So we knew that. Come round 3, I somehow was at 2-0, which made no sense for me at all. But Bruno was like, oh, don't tell him to everyone, because as we were looking at RK9, and I'm like, oh, that means I have someone. And my page finally loads, like, oh, I have Wolf. Well, there goes my winning streak. And then I talked to Wolf.
And indeed, there went the winning streak, I guess. We thought you were going to make day 2 there.
Oh, that was so silly. That was we're so silly. That wasn't going to happen. Especially with my flight. So I sit across from Wolf now, and I'm like, well, I know how this is going to go. And I think before I went down to the table, they're like, oh, if you take one of his mons, it's a victory for you. And I was like, all right, let's see if I can even do that much. And to your point, it was, Wolf, shockingly, Wolf is really good at this game. It was very much like he knew what he was doing. He was always so many steps ahead. He knew what was going to happen. There was one turn, I think in game 2, where I was like, okay, he's gonna like protect this mon or something, whatever on the field. And I'm like, okay, that's his smart move. But if I sit here and if I double into the other Pokemon that doesn't have, then maybe I could, would that make a difference? No, my best move is to still double, like to attack each spot. Well, okay. So of course he protects, and then it doesn't matter anyway. I was going to lose. So it really made no difference. But I was like, this is my big brain play, and it didn't matter at all. So yeah, it was humbling isn't the right word because it's not like I had any shot, but it was very fun to play Wolf. Like I'm glad I got to do that.
It felt humbling for me. I was feeling pretty good up until that point. I think I was 4 or 5-1 at the time, and then
you're doing great.
That's where that ends. But no, it was really fun. The guy's really nice too. Like I try not to like be the guy who's like gushing over the fan as a fan because obviously he's dealing with that all day. But no, he's super friendly. It's his job, I guess, almost at this point to deal with that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I was talking to him before in round 1 or whatever before we started, and I was like, not trying to be annoying, not trying to be that guy, right? But I was like, how is it for you, like competing, having people come up to you, and like, is that annoying or frustrating, or like how's it feeling? It's like, I wouldn't say that, but like I do wish that I could separate being a competitor and a content creator. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? And then talking to him, in round 3, and the interactions we had, like he does actually seem like a genuinely nice, pretty humble guy. He's like, I've been so lucky, like very fortunate. Like, dude, no, you can brag a little bit. Like you're really freaking good at this game.
And yeah, so speaking to that, like, oh God, the finals were maybe one of the best matches of VGC I've ever seen.
I haven't watched it yet, but I want to watch it so bad because I know.
After I missed my win and in, we went and got brunch and then went back to the Airbnb and watched the finals.
We can watch day 2 from the Airbnb.
We could in fact do that, even though I made day 2. Yeah, it was such a cool match to see. Marco played out of his mind. I will say, so Marco Silva versus Wolf Click in the finals, Rain versus Sun, best EU player versus best US player. Like it couldn't have been more poetic for that. And that being said, this was a terrible matchup for Marco. Like you should, if you take 2 players of equal skill and put them against each other with like no outside knowledge of the teams, the one with Wolf's team should win 9 out of 10 times. And in the like when they played in Swiss, that's what it looked like. Like Wolf, it wasn't like it wasn't a 4-0 win or anything like that, but Wolf looked pretty commanding the whole time in their Swiss set, and Marco really made it look like he was going to come back and take it. Like until the end, it seemed very much like of game 3. Even it seemed like Marco was very much in it. Like he learned, he prepped for it. And the greatest thing, they had an interview with Joe Ugarte and Aaron Trailer before the match, because Joe is good friends with Marco, and Aaron Trailer is good friends with Wolf, and not just friends but help each other prep. And you could tell by how they were talking that both of them had helped Marco and Wolf respectively prep for this matchup, because they knew who they were going to be playing against for a little bit before they went on. And God, it was really funny. They were asking like, which Pokemon do you think is going to take the most KOs? And they were both like, well, I can't tell you because I know their game plan for this next set, and I cannot broadcast this on an interview. Like I literally can't say.
They knew the lines. Good
point. Joe was just like, I'll tell you what, Jump Bluff will take the most KOs because it has no attacking moves.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, because someone's watching that, right? Yeah. And the other person's watching that.
Not just that. So it was probably the best, like the most, I don't know, cinematic, whatever, top 4 I can imagine, and top 8 beyond that. So you have Wolf and Marco, who, Wolf being Wolf, playing his, being a celebrity,
his archetype,
playing his archetype, like playing a completely underused team, and the whole Wolfie Con Parish background story of this too is there's a meme going around when Marco ran into Wolf during the GC. They were both playing exactly these teams, by the way, and he sees Wolfie's name come up at the bottom before you see the team preview. It's like, oh, Wolfie. and then it comes on as Wolfie Con Parish. Yeah, so like that being the whole storyline, and they leaned into it with the subtitles and everything. That was cool.
That was very funny.
And then you had Chuppa in Chuppa Cross in semis, who was the Toronto champion last year and was playing out of his completely out of his mind. Like made like gave Wolf a fight, which was great. And then Giovanni Costa, who is just kind of a legendary player. He's the guy who, if you watch these regionals, you'll see the history clips about his Dragonite that 1v4'd while asleep to win some historic match. And he was bringing his Dragonite into this, and he's running Choice Band when everybody else is running loaded dice. And he got into top 4 on an outrage coin flip.
That's outrage.
And he called it right. Choice Banded Outrage still hits really hard, turns out, even after we've all been playing Scale Shot for a format. And it was his final tournament in the US before moving to Japan, which means he can't compete in the circuit anymore because Japan has their own special stupid thing.
I didn't know he was moving to Japan. That's kind of
yeah. So you just had all these storylines for everyone, and all of them are really like just stand-up guys. Like they were all just such good personalities, amazing players, and they all have like some kind of backstory behind them. And then before that, we had Chup in the round of 8. We had Chuppa versus Darsh, and Darsh is a polarizing guy. His whole shtick is like being the heel, like in a wrestling match. Like, he looks he kind of trash talks. He looks at the camera and like makes like LeBron's Resistance was really weird for this one because I thought I won my first 2 in day 2 and I had to win 1 more, and if I won that I'd make top cut, and I lost. I ended up only in top 64. I was really hoping that would be a top 32 kind of thing, but I had my first 2 opponents just like went 1-4 drop or something like that, so my res was absolutely tanked. So Wolfie was holding it up single-handedly.
Yeah, fair point. No, it was really fun. And again, like, always as it is, it's so much fun to get together with our little friend group and see people from the community. It was super fun to see people as always. Give me just a second here. I'm looking at something because I'm going to screw something up if I say it wrong, he says with confidence. But yeah, it was neat. And I guess with Atlanta being the next one where we might have our group together, I think.
Atlanta's the next big regional, I think. Yeah, so I will be going to San Antonio if anybody wants to. Is anybody else going there? Not really a huge fan of going to Texas, but it's close by and it's soon. It's actually in less than a month, even.
Is it January?
Yeah. January 14th-ish, I think.
Yeah. How many points do you have?
Not enough. There's a bunch of cups at the end of this month in Georgia, literally 10 in a row.
I saw from the Discord they're doing some marathon thing.
Yeah. So I'm intending to max out my cups. I will try to max out my BFL on regionals. I guess with this last result, it's maybe a run is possible. I don't know. We'll see.
Sure. It was really fun to see Mazar also. Sorry that as soon as you found me, then it was the pairings were up, so I had to run. So wish we had more time to say hi and talk or whatever, but it was fun to see you there also. And yeah.
All right, you want to call it here?
Yeah, honestly, like, I mean, we got a pretty short episode, I think. There's not a whole lot going on. We will do something, hopefully with the 3 of us soon. I want to do, like, I understand the whole Game Awards thing happened. We have all the other awards shows. I think we should do our own little thing of like what we think from last year of gaming, which is fun. TCG Pocket had its thing. Have you done anything with that?
The new card pack from Pocket. Yeah, it's
Mythic
actually,
Island.
Yeah, I didn't get any Muse, which is a little annoying. I did get the actual star of the show though is Celebi and Superior. Yeah. So Viper not so much, but
no,
yeah,
wrong snake.
No, it's I've got a bunch of Aerodactyls and stuff too. So there's definitely some cool tools to break out. There's some supportive things too, like a psychic not plate some card that lets you draw a psychic mon from your deck. So they're just continuing to buff Mewtwo Gardevoir even more. Like,
yeah, that's really weird.
Like despite the fact that Mew is splashable, it probably still fits best on a Mewtwo deck because the one thing Mewtwo doesn't like to deal with is Charizard. It's like, well, okay, I will have this mon that copies the Charizard's attack and doesn't lose energy from it. So I don't think they care about balance, which is how the game's been from the beginning. So it's totally fine. But lots of cool stuff to play with. I think that the game is still really fun to actually like play the game, and it's not just a collectathon. So Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
having
it is fun. Yeah.
been having a good time. Yeah, I will say this this last weekend was just as good for Pocket for me as it was for VGC. I got the 5 wins in a row. I completed the first expansion. Like,
I did neither of those things. I did not play in that last PvP event because I was like, I don't want
it was
to.
very stressful, and then Kevin told me to just flip coins, and it
I
worked.
don't have any. I don't have Marowak, so I couldn't do it.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, sure, I'll go with that. I got a gazillion hourglasses, so I might do a 10 pull of Mythic Island, and if I like the results from that, I might do a 10 pull of Mewtwo to hopefully get some Marowak for next time. Yeah, I don't have any other games though.
Yeah, I guess just I guess just Game Awards. Astrobot won, so
Astrobot won.
I bought that ages ago. I finally just downloaded it last night, so I got to play it tonight.
Ooh, let me know how you like it. So
yeah.
I know I'm getting it for Christmas, so I can't play it yet. So I have another week to wait.
Oh no. I will say I'm glad it won because you didn't want Elden Ring to win and I didn't want Balatro to win. So
have you tried Balatro yet?
I watched you play it. It was so boring. It was truly mind-numbing.
Man, it's not. Balatro's so good. Let me know in the comments.
I will agree to disagree. I don't have any hate in my heart for this game. People who like it, like, by all means, it just did not look fun.
It very much is a find the pattern, number go up game. I was playing it earlier before the recording too, so I was just like, ooh, Balatro. It's a nice thing to have on your phone because you can just fill time with.
But I don't want the time filler to win Game of the Year.
What is playing video games but filling time?
It should be engaging and
it is engaging
and visually stimulating.
Okay, hold on. The
video. The first part of that word implies visual.
Yeah, and
there's technically a picture for sure.
There is, and the movements actually, honestly, for how simple the game is, the movements in Balatro, very good.
All right, well, it didn't win, so just gonna say that.
It did win Best Indie though, and Best Debut Indie, which is very good. Which is honestly, I do agree. It should definitely have won those. Game of the Year, I was really gunning for Astrobot or Metaphor. Right, that's what I wanted.
Yeah, I'm glad. There's also just Sony getting to make just a fun game, like not doing any, not like. Okay. I feel like PlayStation exclusives. Some of them are really good, but they've all just been so like the opposite direction of what I'm complaining about with Balatro. Honestly, is like going too cinematic to the point that there is no game anymore, and it's just you're playing a movie. And I want something that's like it should wow me. I should be able to look at the screen and be like, man, that's pretty. But I should also be playing the game and just having fun at every moment of it.
Now, we'll get more into this after you play Balatro when we do some Game of the Year stuff. But I do know that Astrobot is fun from beginning to end, which is very good. But also, it's not a game. It is 1000% Sony IP propaganda. Okay? Be warned. Be warned as you play Balatro. Astrobot.
I'm fine with that. I wanted Sony All Stars to be good, like what, a decade and a half ago. It was garbage. But
no, Astrobot's great.
They finally cloned a Nintendo IP and did a good job. I'm proud of them.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, cool. I think that's it. I think that a nice little half-hour podcast episode. That's
perfect.
Perfect. So y'all. Thank you so much for listening. What was your game of the year? Did you go to Toronto? And how do you feel about Reg 8? Let us know in the comments. Let us know, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, down below, whatever. It's all there. Just tell us. Tell us how you think about the stuff that we said. I'd like to thank RobKTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner off the Ultraball album. I have been Harrison. You can find me at Row_Ixon at all the places except Blue Sky, where I am just Row_Ixon with no thing between those two words. Yeah, Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan. You can find me on Twitter, Zitter, Rowan W. Hall, Blue Sky, just Rowan Hall. One day I'll get the other name. I'm gonna have to either buy it off the other guy or, order a hit or something. This is a joke for legal reasons.
Oh my. Like that. And together we've been the Game Corner. You can find us at Game Corner VGC on Twitter, the Game Corner on Blue Sky. But more importantly, all of our links, including to our Discord and our Patreon, if you'd like to support us there. Discord, if you want to come say hi and join in the Game of the Year discussion that has been very slow, as well as the rest of the video game club discussions that we're going to have. Going to try and pick that up more, in the new year as things kind of settle down for my personal life. I always say that, but it never happens. Whatever. And life does not slow down. But in the moments of your life where it is slow enough for you to play something, no matter what you decide to play, press start and game on. Bye!